Welcome back to the WIOA Title I training video series. This training series focuses on 7 specific topics that are key to successful implementation of WIOA programs. This training focuses specifically on the development and use of individual employment plans. An IEP is the first step in individualizing career services for a job seeker. An IEP offers a process and tool for working with individuals to identify specific employment goals and objectives and develop plans to achieve those employment goals. An IEP starts with the assessment of an individual's needs and assets, includes the identification of goals and objectives, the development of a service plan, and ultimately the documentation and achievement of employment goals. You can find New Jersey's IEP policy in the Workforce Professional Resources section of the New Jersey WIOA website. All policies that have been issued by NJDOL are available in the NJ Workforce Innovation Notices section, including specifically the IEP policy WDPY19-8. It is important to note that this video includes some updates since this IEP policy was developed and offers a higher standard for AOSOS entry that we believe is more reflective of a quality IEP. This policy highlights 4 core elements that should be part of an IEP: an assessment of need, the development of short and long-term employment goals, the elevation of barriers to employment, and a mix of services based on needs, goals, and barriers identified. In addition, this policy lays out specific expectations about plan development and use. We'll spend the rest of this training video diving into more detail around these core areas. The development of an IEP starts with the assessment of a participant's needs and interests. This should include an interview and ongoing case management with the participant, the use of specific assessment tools that explore academic skills, career interests, and support needs, as well as a review of work history and skills obtained and needed. Assessments should be documented in AOSOS. Specific assessment activities must be entered in the Activities tab in Customer Detail. In addition, prior assessment information that may have been entered as a part of prior service with a participant should be reviewed in the development of an IEP. Academic assessment results, specifically CASAS test results, can be captured in the Test tab in Customer Detail. Occupational and service need assessment results should be captured across the tabs in CompAssess. Additional documentation of these assessments and their results that are not captured in the tabs themselves should be captured as comments in CompAssess. However, it is important to note that confidential information should not be highlighted in the Comments tab, but rather as a counseling statement in CompAssess to protect this confidential information. This screen is only available to individuals in specific counseling roles. The second key element of an IEP is the identification of specific short-term and long-term career goals. Long-term goals reflect the ultimate career goal that the participant hopes to achieve. Short-term goals identify goals that the participant hopes to achieve in the near term that align with long-term goals. And achievement objectives are specific actions and activities that participants will achieve that demonstrate progress towards goals. These goals and objectives should be documented in AOSOS. These specifics can be documented in the Achievement Objectives tab in Services, as well as in the Employment and Education tabs in CompAssess. Any additional details not reflected in these tabs should be included in the Comments tab in CompAssess. And again, during goal setting, prior information that may have been entered before connections to Title I services should be reviewed and reflected in goals. A third critical element of an IEP and in the IEP process is the specific identification and elevation of barriers to employment that services need to address. This includes identification of specific skills gaps, as well as personal circumstances, such as the need for childcare or transportation, as well as technology needs, which has become more important with the acceleration to virtual environments and services that has occurred because of COVID. Barriers to employment should also be documented in AOSOS and include any prior information about barriers that is already documented through previous engagement with the customer. Barriers to employment should be captured across the tabs in CompassS. Additional documentation of barriers that are not captured in the tabs themselves should be captured as comments in CompassS. The final critical element is the identification and provision of services based on assessment, goal development, and barriers identification. Services should include core education or employment services that provide entry or advancement in an employment pathway. Services also include any specific preparation activities, including training prerequisites and other readiness supports, as well as supportive services to help reduce personal barriers. Services should also be documented in AOSOS. Specifically, training and supportive services should be designated and funded as services in the Services tab. Additional notes and details should be highlighted in the Comments tab in Services. Ultimately, an AOSOS record should offer a clear overview of a participant's experience. In addition to the components of the IEP, NJDOL's policy also highlights specific guidance for development and use of the IEP. An IEP offers a foundation for ensuring the individualization of service and support for a participant. An IEP should be developed with the participant. An IEP should reflect individual goals and needs of a participant. An IEP offers a tool and process for ongoing monitoring and evaluation of progress towards goals. An IEP should be used to both document plans and track activities. An IEP should serve as a tool for ensuring that a participant's experience is connected and seamless. As we've mentioned before, this includes making connections to prior assessments and IEPs. What information has already been collected, and how does this connect to the customer's current plan? A couple last notes about documenting IEPs in AOSOS. Every time there is an engagement around the IEP, at the point of creation and when plans are revisited and updated, an IEP activity should be designated in customer detail. Additionally, details and notes about these points of engagement should be documented in comments in Services. Finally, when a new IEP version is complete, this should be uploaded in the Attachments tab in CompassS. This is a new feature that was added to AOSOS in February 2021 and is available to all AOSOS users. Additionally, elements of the IEP may also be recorded in the Employment Plan tab in Customer Detail. Specifically, there are fields for entering barriers, services needed, and information about goals. While there is not a requirement to enter this information here if it is already documented elsewhere, at minimum, this tab should include an employment plan entry and date and a comment in the comment field at the bottom of the employment plan that highlights that the IEP is in the Attachments or Clients folder. This concludes our summary of the IEP. Additional resources, including NJDOL's policies and a series of training tutorials on AOSOS, are available to augment knowledge of concepts highlighted in this training. If you don't have access to these materials or have any additional questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us at wioapolicy@dol.nj.gov. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for updates about future videos. Just click the subscribe button. Thank you.